We finally have some clear footage of Cryo Archive where Tyraxe, a well-known Destiny 2 Day 1 raider, actually beat the entire thing and extracted with a new weapon with the rarity of Contraband. For Destiny 2 players, think of the exotic trace rifle the Navigator, and you're pretty much there. In the make or break video I made, I basically compared Cryo Archive to being a mini Deepstone Crypt with most of its mechanics gutted. So yeah, I was wrong about that. It doesn't even hold a candle to a Destiny 2 raid. Ignoring the obvious difference in team size, it's just a series of mini puzzles where you have to depend on RNG if you want to get the key to progress to the next vault. Then if you manage to make it to vault 7, which haha, magic Bungie number, you have to fight the compiler, which is just a special enemy and not really a boss at all. All you need to do is activate symbols to spawn in a green zone, they'll let you shoot the green orb on the compiler, which then bursts opens its robe, cape, I don't know. But it basically flashes the players and they can do damage. In Destiny 2, we'd consider this a major enemy at best. Maybe a barrier champion if you want to stretch it. Because all you're doing is shooting slow moving projectiles that are coming towards you and dealing damage to the compiler when DPS is active. There's no external threat at all. It's even highly likely that by the time you get to the compiler, there won't even be another enemy team present on the map, which then kinda defeats the entire purpose of a PvP extraction shooter. And if you don't have a team of 3 to take this on, well, looks like you're not playing it unless you matchmake on an LFG. Bungie really should have gone down the route of structuring it like a dungeon, where it escalates in difficulty with completely different zones, puzzles, and mechanics instead of just pressing some buttons to open doors. Because then it would have been something to build up to, instead of it being just a case of getting lucky with RNG, and then beating the strongest enemy to get the best loot in the game. It seems Bungie has likely just completely blown their chances for Marathon to be any semblance of a success, because if you wanted to create a PvE experience in an extraction shooter, maybe they should have picked up on a few tips from Arc Raiders first. I know it's rich that Bungie, who in the past have created some amazing PvE experience in Destiny, has dropped the ball so badly because they've effectively created an endgame that most players won't access. Either because they are solo players like myself and won't be able to access the map at all, or because there will only be sweats in said endgame map, meaning if you have a life outside of chronically saying Marathon is the best extraction shooter, your chances of beating the endgame is slim to none. The icing on the cake of all this is that as the player base dwindles over time, the pressure is only going to get worse to the point where the hardcore players will only be able to go against themselves, because every casual player would have moved on, and as we've seen with Trials in Destiny 2, when that happens, the hardcore players begin to leave because they start to realise they can't stop casual players anymore and stop having fun before they ultimately rage quit. But maybe there was a surge of players because everybody wanted to try this new map, right? No. The peak was 56k on Saturday, which is the lowest peak of the Saturday so far. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball to see what peak Sunday is going to be because I'm recording before it's peak time. And hilariously, a side note I've noticed is that Gamerlytics is now reporting 830,000 copies of Marathon sold. A very different story from the alleged 2 million copies alone, which I covered way back in my first video. But on the bright side of all this, at least the Marathon players can sit back and say the game reviewed well. I mean, that counts for something, right?